Hi, what's up, y'all? So today we're gonna follow up on a setup that we shared with you guys a few days ago. Coming into this week, we're gonna explain why the market did exactly what we thought it would do, which was a major bounce off of extremely strong support area. And so if you're confused as to why the market is bouncing so high or bouncing so much when everything's supposed to be crazy bearish and there's all this end of the world news, end of the stock market news out there, forget all that stuff. Just watch this video, learn price action. Hit me up if you have any questions. The link to my mentorship program is in the description below. And I am doing a sale right now, an 89% off sale up through December 2nd of this year. So it'll only be $900. It'll probably be one of the best investments you can ever make for yourself. I love trading. You get to increase your income, whether it's passively, extra income, or just you're more active like me. I'm an active trader. So I really love it. I enjoy it. And so like I say, man, we're going to get into some great things in this video. It's not too many people online or anywhere who are teaching you something that can make you money tomorrow. And I say tomorrow as in, take a couple months to learn the market, get familiar with it, and you make money. I don't teach you just life lessons that's supposed to motivate you into doing God knows what. And no shot to anybody who does that. But I'm all about results. I want to see results ASAP. You feel what I'm saying? So check out the video. If you like it, like the video. If you like the content, like the video so that I can make more content like this. And like I said, if you got any questions, hit me up and follow me on Instagram at 6fatdaddy9 where I do more updates publicly. So hope you guys enjoy. All right. So if you guys recall, last week, I talked about how SPX was probably going to bottom off of this 4100 area because we were retesting this old support or old resistance, which should act as new support. This was where the accumulation happened back in the late spring, early summertime, where that started this huge rally here. And if you can see, SPX has given us a 200-point rally off of those lows. That is incredible. You can easily 2 to 3x your money catching a 200-point move on SPX. So, and that's trading relatively conservatively. So that is a great setup to catch. We had FOMC. It went pretty well for the market, at least. I don't really care much about what they say as far as trading goes. It just induces volatility in my eyes. I don't really care much about that affecting my trades, except for volatility. So I trade cautiously around FOMC, and I actually don't trade much at all in FOMC. But this was the FOMC day there. And you can kind of see spot SPX has just been rallying off of that critical support. And if we look at the spot chart, remember I talked about how, I think in my Discord, I talked about it. That probably wasn't a private video, but this is kind of stuff I teach you in my mentorship. These gaps remained open. So I don't know that they're going to remain open. But the thing coming into this week was if those gaps remain open, SPY is going to rip. And this retest is going to fail. A lot of times you hear me say stuff like, wait for the retest, just play the retest. But if you're not having an actual strong break, this was a pretty strong break, don't get me wrong, but the move was somewhat overextended because we just been going straight down. I think we were red like 9 out of 10 of the previous sessions or something like that coming into Monday. So you don't want to be looking to be aggressively short unless you just see choppy back and forth price action that's actually failing to break resistance on the lower time frame. So that's what you would have been having to look for. And then you would have wanted to play continued downside and probably start targeting those gap fills. But coming into the week, if we look at those gaps, I mean, they never even made an attempt to fill them. Those gaps remain open. So low volume areas tend to act as really, really, really strong support when price comes down to retest it, or to act as strong resistance if you're pushing back up to retest it. If they don't act extremely strong, then they're going to be extremely weak. So coming into this, if you get into these gaps and you just start flushing through them like that, you get into them right there, you're just going to keep dumping straight down. But you can see, I'm saying right here, you got hard support right here. You had gaps all over the place. I mean, there were gaps everywhere below this. So you already are extremely cautious coming into this if you're bearish. So the last thing with the Discord was QQQ is in a low volume area. And the thing with that one was, see, here's where traditional teaching kind of messes people up. Because I'm gonna mess your head up looking at this one. And I wasn't even planning on talking about this, so I'm kind of ranting, but this is like extremely important. The main thing I want to talk about, first and foremost, this circle is represented, it's showing you this ginormous low volume area that QQQ is in. Low volume areas are extremely strong or extremely weak. You got to break into the low volume area right here. Once you broke into it, not at no point did you ever get any continuation after that. Because if you look at, we broke into it right here. So this is the first day that you're actually in the low volume area, which was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday. So we're going to zoom in a little bit. The first day was right here on Thursday. So you need continuation below those lows in order to get more downside and prove that the low volume area is going to be weak. That never happened. We never had one single day break below Thursday's lows. So how could you be bearish? So coming into that, if I rewind this chart and I show you what most people probably are going to teach you, you'll be messed up because you'll be thinking to yourself, what? How did that happen? The first thing here is what people they're going to call it a bull flag. This is just a really big bull flag. So in the beginner's mind, well, let me just make this a little bit thicker so that you can see, because I kind of sometimes I assume that everybody can see what I'm talking about. This is just a bull flag. Google bull flag right now. Pause the video, Google bull flag, and this is going to show up. This is a ginormous bull flag. So obviously you should get a ginormous break to the upside. You should be breaking all-time highs out of something like this. But what people fail to tell you is that this is it's borderline nonsense. A lot of times these things break in the opposite way that they're taught to break, but people don't talk about that. Me, I wait for the impulsive move. I just play the mechanics of the market. I don't care about chart patterns. Somebody's gonna make you lean bullish, extremely bullish, into a setup like this, because even younger me, I'm buying calls already. I'm already waiting for the breakout. In fact, I probably done bought calls down here and didn't even sell because I'm like, oh no, this got to break further. Now I'm back to break even. I'm like, well, hold on, what's going on? Like, why we back down here? But now, as time progresses, what happens? You get a breakdown through support. You get a breakdown through this bull flag. So now you're saying to yourself, well, dang. And even myself, I teach pivots now. I'm not going to say that I don't, but the pivot has to make sense with my low volume area. I'm telling myself, well, dang, that just broke. A lot of people probably got flushed out right there. Cool, we probably gonna get more downside. That's what I was thinking, at least coming into the week. We never broke lows. So in my mind, the next thing to think is, okay, we're just gonna wait for the pivot area. We're gonna play this pivot area right here when price come back to retest it. Or we're gonna just short QQQ when it's up in here. And don't get me wrong, there were two or three, I think every day honestly gave a good short off the retest, but it didn't give any continuation. They were just scalps. I don't really count scalps as wins because I don't scalp. And you can almost close your eyes and just get lucky with scalping if you're not planning to do it, because this was never a scalping setup. You can look at scalps and make legitimate trades, and there are great scalpers out there, but that's not what this is. This was never a setup for a scalp that I was presenting. So I can't claim those as victories, because what was supposed to happen, you get back up here and you come back down and you flush to this area that I got pointed out down here. Well, it should be right here at the 333 area. That never happened. And the entire time I kept telling the group, okay, hey, we're going back. This is a great retest, but if we ain't got volume to back it, I'm not taking it. And even though prices come back up to retest this area right here now, let me back up one day. Prices come back to retest this area. I can't just assume that we're gonna dump back through. I have to wait for a bearish candle backed with volume. You push into that low volume area on low volume. So in my mind, or you push back into that pivot area with low volume. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, bear's probably about to dump this. They're going to send this dumping. But what happens the next day? The next day comes and you gap up through back into the bull flag, which basically how I teach it is all you did was reclaim this critical support point. Once that happens, bull's on fire. And this is FOMC day, so I can't even say that I was. FOMC day came and I told the Discord, yo, it's FOMC day. this retest should work. Any other time, I'm probably putting a lot of money on this retest, and they're going to have to stop me out. But I say we got AMD earnings, FOMC, and Apple earnings. So I'm not going to be naive to the fact that can blow this whole setup. So what do? You just sit and wait and be patient. And that is part of the game. I was patient. I waited. I done made like a lot of money this week. And I done avoided a lot of stress of trying to force these trades to work. I've barely been trading this week. Like, it's been low volume. One of my requirements is that we have volume, because high volume is indicative of price expansion. I do not scalp. I don't like scalping. That's not my personality, because a lot of times the trade fails or you get a bad entry because you were just not quick enough. I don't have that type of setup where I can just be in and out of trades like that. I'm really more of just a momentum trader. Like, I need price expansion. And so when we don't have price expansion, when we got low value, I just go chill and I go do something with the family. Like, I just go about my day. Like, that's how you have that work-life balance. So that's how I balance it out. And basically what ended up happening going forward, once you reclaim that old support area, which should have been a strong pivot, now all of this is starting to look like a false breakdown, because a lot of people probably thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell you something. And this is why chart patterns suck, because I can give you a whole nother chart pattern. Because I'm gonna tell you the other side of this. A lot of people was thinking, I'm gonna draw it out. Let me find a lot of people was thinking, oh my gosh, huge head and shoulders pattern. Michael Burry was right. Oh my gosh, stocks are gonna crash. Don't get me wrong, I get crazy bullish a lot of crazy bearish, sometimes crazy bullish. I'm like, oh my, boy, this motherfucker finna. You know what I'm saying? But look what happened. You got a head and shoulders. You broke the neckline. So what is everybody saying? Everybody's saying, oh my goodness, we're gonna dump through. Oh, then everybody's saying, okay, wait, we're just gonna come back and retest and then dump through. Don't get me wrong, that retest was a valid theory, but when you got to that retest, you ain't got no volume, you ain't wait for no strong candle to confirm your theory, you're gonna get smoked. You can't just be coming up with stuff, because look what I just did. I just gave you a crazy big bull flag, and then I gave you a crazy big head and shoulders. One is real bullish and one is real bearish, but neither one of them matter. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like the eye sees what the eye wants to see. You can be delusionally bullish, you can be delusionally bearish, or you can just take the charts for what they are and forget them chart patterns and just trade price action. Trade support, resistance, low volume areas during high volume periods, and understand the mechanics of the market, because you can't just make something work. A bull flag ain't gonna break out bullish just because it's a bull flag. A head and shoulders pattern ain't gonna work just because of the head and shoulders pattern. The only reason this head and shoulders pattern even set up was because look what you got right here. It's a low volume area. You had a pretty strong gap down right here. So when price came back, what did it want to do? It retested this distribution area all up in here. It came back, had virtually no chance of reclaiming it. Going into September too, which is seasonality is another thing, just like chart patterns. It works when it want to work. But September is one of the months that I do heavily believe in as of today. This can always change, because September usually is like consistently bad, even in my short experience and just understanding the market, the history of the market. It is usually like really bad. Don't know why, I can't explain why, but it is. You coming into that area, what you gonna do? You're gonna dump back down. What you mean? So now you got this imaginary head and shoulders pattern that once the neckline breaks, oh, that's the time to be short. But you ain't want to short it up here? That don't make sense. That don't make no kind of sense at all. Like, no, bro, you got to understand the dynamics of the market, understand market structure, understand what people were accumulating and where was people distributing. You don't want to be playing around at them critical points, because that would just be psychotic. You see what I'm saying? So then, like, we can go back. It's a bull flag. Now it's a bull flag. Like, so just get rid of that stuff. Understand price expands when you got high volume. You need to be in scalper mode. If you like scalping, be in scalper mode when there's low volume. Me personally, I'm just stepping away from the market because I don't really like to entertain scalps. You need to understand low volume areas. You need to understand accumulation and distribution. You see what I'm saying? So these are all the things that I teach in my mentorship program. And so I guess the follow up to QQQ is you can see what price has done. Price is still climbing. And 360 was my, 360 and above. Once it reclaimed 352 and then 354, well, once it reclaimed 352, that was the signal that, let me get rid of this because I just draw this stuff just for illustration purposes. I trade price action, but 360 and above was my target once 352 was reclaimed, because look what happened at 360. That's your next level of strong resistance. That's where you had your next low volume area. And look how you created another low volume area through that low volume area. So what does that tell you? That there's extreme strength right here. And this is probably going to be a significant support area going forward, probably well into the end of the year. So as long as this holds, you can look for more upside. You can look to target that next distribution point, which happened mid-October when the sell-off first started, because look what happened. You had a false breakout. This is where understanding accumulation and distribution comes in handy. You had a false breakout, and look what happened every time price came out to retest that area. You rejected. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And I'm like I explained in some short videos I did on my Instagram, I'm an engineering major, so with me, everything is like binary. It's either it's true or it's false. Ain't no in between. It's either something did happen or it did not happen. If it did happen, then I'm going to do this. If it did not happen, then I'm not going to do this. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, just understand the dynamics of the market and play levels, get them chart patterns out your head, like all that kind of stuff. So it's the market is as easy as you make it. And with SPY, I guess we'll say the next low volume, this was a distribution area. So up in here, you might see some trouble, and you got this low volume area. It's already gave you a big rejection point. So when you get back up here, maybe, it gives you, I'm not even gonna guess as to what it's gonna do, but just know that all up in this is when you wanna be reset and wait for that next thing. And honestly, at this point, I've reset it and I'm waiting for the next thing, because this is a big move off of lows. And if you wasn't buying down here, you don't need to be buying up here right now. If you're looking for that longer term break, well, I guess you do whatever you want to do. This is all just for entertainment purposes. So these are just some things that I discussed, but that's everything, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. The link to join my stock mentorship program will be in the description below. So make sure you like this video if you enjoy the content. Subscribe to the channel so you can follow along. Click the notification bell so that you get notified when I make new videos. And follow me on Instagram at 6fatdaddy9, where I do more updates. And like I say, I do updates every single day for my Discord and mentorship program. Teach you everything that I know. The things we discussed today were already discussed in private videos long before they even happened. So my public videos that I do are typically just kind of like a very general overview. And then in private videos, I get very detailed and say, okay, this is the level we watching. Whatever price does right here, we're going to take it to that point. If price break below that point, we're going to take it down to the next point. So it's just about finding those critical points, understanding those low volume areas, understanding that price expand during high volume areas, understanding impulsive moves, because honestly, like I said, the day giveaway coming to this week was when SPY created that new bull gap. So only one of two things can happen. Either the bull gap held and price skyrocketed, or the following day, bears were going to gap back through that. Bears did not gap back through that. So now I know going into QQQ, which I wasn't really looking to short SPY. I was like, okay, if the market's going to be bearish, QQQ is what I want. So going into QQQ, I'm like, oh, well, SPY got a new impulsive bullish move. I can't just go rush into QQQ shorts. If SPY had chopped up into this area and never made this new bull gap, I would have shorted QQQ pretty heavy. Probably got stopped out. Probably would have took 20 to 30% loss on 2 to 3 month expiration contracts. But that's just assuming that we didn't have FOMC. We did have FOMC, so I wasn't trading around that. I had a pretty small green day. Don't get me wrong, it was a great green day. I love the gains. It was definitely one of my most efficient FOMC days. I took one trade, which technically was a scalp, and then that was early in the morning because it was just a setup I could not refuse. I had a very strong impulsive move, and then I had took a position into close after FOMC because I started to see volume kicking up. That volume was there. And so today kind of verified that FOMC wasn't quite a false move, because a lot of times you'll get the market will just literally reverse all of FOMC, whether it's whichever way it is. And we did not do that. So we like the FOMC move, the volume from that. And we just kind of wait for the next setup now. So these are things I talk about in my mentorship program. And just I give you the heads up before it happens. And that's just everything, man. If you enjoy it, like I said, consider joining, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys later.